with Guy Havard, please. Guy Havard.
Hi Conor,
Hi.
good morning to you.
How you doing?
How difficult is it at the moment not knowing from one day to the next who's going to be on the training ground and who might be in the dressing room with you ahead of a game?
Yeah, listen, it's a strange time at the minute. I think, it's a third camp in a row now where we've probably been hit with that kind of stuff. So it's becoming a little bit of a normality, which is strange. But yeah, listen, it's not, I suppose, a great time for us at the minute. There's a lot of pullouts and with injuries and COVIDs and all that. So we're just trying to get on with it as best we can and gear ourselves up for Wednesday against Bulgaria with the players that we actually are going to have.
And from an individual point of view, Stephen spoke about this. I mean, do you sort of wake up each morning thinking, is it going to be me today?
Yeah, maybe so. I suppose. Listen, you want the negative, result back. You want the text off the doc or whatever. Everyone's eager and wanting to do that. But I suppose in the back of everyone's mind, when someone gets a positive test early on in the trip, you're obviously fully aware of how this virus works. So it can spread around. So yeah, listen, it hasn't been an easy week again. Hasn't been an easy camp, but we're just trying to make do with everyone that's here. So everyone that's here will be wanting to make an impression. It's their chance to shine now, and that's what happens in football. Chances come around maybe in strange times. So lads will be trying to get their chance and prove to the manager what they're all about.
And just for those players, obviously, who leave the squad, it's bitterly disappointing for them that they're leaving playing for Ireland.
Yeah.
They're also all fighting, aren't they, for a place at club level, and so they're going to miss out this weekend.
Yeah.
And the danger is they might not get back in for a little bit.
Yeah, listen, it's a really tough time, I suppose, from that point of view. You have to isolate now for whatever it is, 10 to 14 days. It's not easy time. It's a tough stage for the footballer. With all these tests and positives and negatives and whatever. We've been, kind of victims of that over the last 3 trips, and lads have been victims of that heading back into their clubs as well. It's part and parcel of it at the minute. It's not normal, of course, but you just have to try and get on with it as best you can.
Cheers, Conor.
Tony O'Donoghue, RT, please.
Hi, Conor.
How you doing?
Can you remember in your career going through phases like this, where you're trying everything, but the luck isn't with you and the results aren't with you?
Listen, I suppose no is probably the answer to your first question. We've never been in a situation like this where obviously COVID's been around. So with all the positives and the negatives and all the rest of it, it's not an easy time. I suppose on the injury front as well. Of course, we've been through stages like that in our playing careers, results-wise as well. You'd have to kind of knuckle down and battle on, and hopefully things will change. Obviously, things that seem to be a little bit against us at the minute, but we have to come out fighting on Wednesday night and hopefully get that result that we're all craving. And then hopefully come March time, we might be back into somewhat bit of normality, with the COVID situation, please God. So, it's important maybe Wednesday night to get a result and then take a break from it all, because it hasn't been easy these last 3 trips, I got to admit that. And hopefully come March, we'll be ready to go again.
Can you understand, though, like club managers' frustration, I guess, and maybe supporters as well? I mean, no one else, anyone in the Irish squad, desire to play for their country. But, an empty Aviva Stadium,
Yeah.
off game, depleted resources, and the COVID background to all that, it's dispiriting, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, it's very disheartening. You try and get on with it as best you can. Listen, football, life, soccer, whatever, GA, I watch the GA games when I've been over in Ireland, on Sky. It's just not the same at the minute. It's such a shame. The supporters, the intensity, the energy that, around stadiums just isn't there at the minute. That's just life. And we have to make do with it the best we can. Everyone's in the same boat, unfortunately. Yeah, and we just have to try and get on with it as best we can. But listen, it's not the same. Like I said, the emotion, the energy, the intensity, the passion, all them kind of words that spring to mind when fans, full houses are at stadiums, just isn't there at the minute. And, we're all hoping and fingers crossed, in the near future that it will come back to a little bit of normality, because we're all craving that. And we're all very excited for when that comes around.
Good luck tomorrow. Thanks, man.
Cheers, Tony.
Will Dalton, the Virgin Media.
Morning, Conor. How are you?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, Conor, just obviously with so many new faces in the squad.
Yeah.
We've kind of gone through times where we've had 1 or 2 new caps. But is it a bit of a weird squad to be in where players don't really know they don't know each other too well?
I suppose, yeah, there's a little bit of strangeness to it. The change in personnel since we kind of first met up has been massive. I think it's something like, what is it, 10 to 12 players has been changed. It's a huge number. Lads who are coming into the camp, you don't really see them for 24 hours. You hear that they're in, but they're isolating until they get their test results. It's just a strange situation, a strange time. We've been hit badly by it. There's no doubt about that, which has been tough to take. I think probably the only full team we've had really is probably the game against Slovakia, where it's probably been one of our better performances, and very unlucky not to qualify into the final of that playoff. But yeah, like I said, we've been hit hard with it over the last 3 trips. It hasn't been easy. Changing of personnel all the time isn't easy, but like I said, hopefully on Wednesday, I know it's change of personnel again, we can get a positive result, and come March then, hopefully we're back to a little bit of normality, fingers crossed, and we can kick on from there.
And listen, obviously there must be a lot of frustration inside because of this run of results, and obviously as well no goals. Obviously players want to win. Do you think it's right to stay with the current formation that Steve is employing, even though it could take some time for another win to come? Do we need to go back to being a bit more compact, or is it perhaps maybe somewhere in the middle, a bit of a balance between the two?
I think that's purely down to the manager. The manager's probably had his press conference before me, so it's nothing to do with me. I'm just here to play for my country, play for Ireland, try and help the team get results. But formation-wise, tactics and all that, that's purely down to the manager. It's not up to me.
And just finding your own role in the side, are you happy the way you're being asked to employ to play your role?
Yeah, listen, it's I suppose at the minute the only probably natural sitter we have in the team or in the squad is probably James McCarthy. James probably, unfortunately hasn't been here for the last couple of trips or whatever. He's been here for the Slovakia one, and myself and James have only had an opportunity to play with each other once, I think, in that game. Like I said, he kind of gives the freedom to myself and to Jeff and whatever. When we play in there together. At the minute when James doesn't play, someone else has to kind of hold the ship in the middle of the park, and that seems to be me at the minute. It probably takes away from my strengths because I prefer to be a more advanced midfielder, but that is what it is. You have to do whatever it takes to try and get a result, and hopefully, over the next couple of trips, we'll kind of get the right roles that we want and move on. No problem.
Ryan Murphy, please.
Hi Conor, just last season you were up there club level, you were playing for Australia. Hard for you guys to get a win there, and you have to kind of every point, every 3 points. Do you think that kind of experience personally will help you and in this team that is also kind of quite every point, like to win?
Yeah, hopefully so. I suppose, we were probably in a similar situation last year, but I know obviously it was a league and we were down the bottom and we had to scrap through and stuff. But yeah, listen, I've had experience of that last year, and a lot of our teams have had experiences of getting promoted or staying up in the Premier League or getting promoted from the Championship, and always scrapping for 3 points. So I think it's probably a collective. Everyone's been in the situation I was in last year or are in now. I mean, just have to kind of together, as a group, try and grind out a result on Wednesday night and move on from there. Really, the lads that come into the team on Wednesday night, it's going to be a changed team again. Will bring their own energy and their own kind of enthusiasm to try and impress the manager. So hopefully with a mix of a few bits and pieces, we'll get the result that we're all craving for.
Gavin Cooney, please, to end the live section.
Hi Conor.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like you need to get a win or score a couple of goals tomorrow night to take something concrete into those World Cup qualifiers next March?
Yeah, hopefully that's the ideal situation. I suppose scoring goals is a big part of winning games. There's no doubt about that. When you don't score too many and you concede a couple, you're onto a recipe for disaster, really. So, we need to score a few goals, that's for sure. We need to be more, probably advanced in our play and forward thinking in our play. I think we've created chances. There's no doubt about that. We're just unfortunate not to take a couple. And I was guilty of one against Slovakia myself, where I should have scored, and that might have got the ball rolling. But listen, hopefully things will change for us. Hopefully it will be Wednesday night. Hopefully we'll score a few goals and, like I keep saying, get that result that we're all craving for.
Conor, finally for me, can you explain why it is so difficult for players to perform when there are no fans in the
Yeah, just listen. Like I said to Tony, I suppose it's a case of there's no energy, passion. There's no that roar from the crowd that might give you that buzz, the enthusiasm. Listen, the enthusiasm's there, of course, but the intensity that comes with that isn't easy to get up for. It's listen, playing for your country is a huge honour. But we need to try and create our own intensity, our own energy on Wednesday night, and hopefully get that result. Like I said, that we keep reiterating that we're all craving for. But it's not an easy time at the minute. Empty stadiums are strange, and hopefully that will change soon enough, because we're all hoping for that intensity, that energy, that passion back that the fans bring, because you can't beat it.